Welcome to episode 13 of Realty Talk with
Ellie
and Galen. We are back, week number 13. This is a big episode, folks. I'm super excited, and I won't be the one to tell you why we're super excited, but Ellie will be the one to tell you why we're super excited on this episode. Ellie, why are we super excited for this episode?
I had my first offer accepted.
Boom. So, for people that don't understand real estate and are thinking that real estate is kind of like this, actually a couple things I'll mention, but one, people that think that real estate's easy and you come in, Ellie has just started basically her 4th month. Mm-hmm. She got her first offer accepted. So what people usually think is that real estate, you're going to come in, you're going to kill it on day one. I'm very upfront and honest, right, Ellie? That is not the case.
You got to bust some ass first.
Yes, I'm very realistic for new people coming in that it's just not going to happen overnight. And what happens too in real estate, because we are commission-based, we still have to wait for it to close. So we still have roughly, about an 8-week window for it to close. So does Ellie get paid right now? No. She gets paid when it gets accepted or when it actually closes. So really, Ellie's going to be going 5 months of real estate without getting paid, which happens to everybody that gets into real estate. Eventually, you get to the point where you have a steady pipeline of deals. So you're just getting paid on stuff you did 2 months ago and you're just working for the future. I know it's kind of a weird situation, but eventually it's fine. You get to the point where you can sustain it. Now, the good thing is Ellie got her first deal accepted over a month before my time. Like, meaning I started the same month and it took me until May. And so that's good. So Ellie is actually already a month better than me. So Ellie, kind of go over, not without going into too much detail. Obviously, we want to kind of keep, certain things, confidential. But kind of just go in, where did you meet this person? How did you meet this person? And kind of give us the whole rundown of the deal in a sense, without going into specific numbers and names and things like that.
Well, I connected with this person at an AVKYP event, and I think it was her first one. And it might have been mine too, actually, now that I think back on it.
Was that long ago?
It was a while ago, yeah. I wasn't even necessarily interested in real estate at that time. I just met her, and she was really great, and she's a really sweet girl. And
cool.
We just kind of, hit it off. And yeah, and what was the other...
So you met her at ADKYP, so in networking, which I've said is very important. And what is the and then kind of give us your experience so far on the deal, because I think I can put it mildly, you were stressed.
I was a little stressed. Yes, just I know a lot of basic stuff and I know a lot of laws, but the actual step-by-step process. So I'm just going to slide right into this. I am very annoyed with the course that I spent. The 72-hour course is very expensive.
75.
75-hour course. And I had to pass this test and whatnot. And not a single thing in that course, not one item have I utilized since I would say, sure, the don't discriminate stuff I've used, but I would have used that with or without the course. That's just basic human decency. But there's not a single useful thing in that. And, now I'm going through this closing process and leaning very heavily on you on helping me through it, because nothing in it is in the course. It's totally impractical and useless. See, I'm slurring my words because I'm angry.
So I'm now going to take this time to rip on the New York State associate salesperson, whatever the name of it's called. I tell everybody that gets into real estate, I said you were taking this course, the 75-hour course, to pass a test that will get you licensed to sell real estate. Will you know how to sell real estate? No. You will learn more in real estate by finding a mentor and shadowing and doing what they do. The course test does not teach you anything. It might introduce you to some terms, but to be fair, half the terms you probably doesn't even really matter if you know it or know the opposite name of something or what it also could be referred to. It talks about real estate law. Yes, there is real estate law involved. I mean, you have to know certain types of things, and I believe that is important.
Absolutely, yeah.
I believe some of the stuff with agency is important, but stuff on discrimination, don't discriminate. It's very easy to do. You don't need a chapter on not to discriminate. It's okay, well, just don't treat people like everybody is equal.
Yeah.
Then you're good. Guess what? I just in a sentence covered that whole topic.
Which took like 3 hours to cover in
And
the course.
they will drive that down your throat to death, saying the same thing over and over again. Then they start talking about, I mean, just a lot of just pointless stuff. So you'll take 75 hours. I don't remember anything that was on the course. I didn't know anything about real estate when I took the course. And to be honest, I went and took the test, passed the test, and then I was like, I don't know anything that I'm doing. So you learn by doing. And they don't teach you how to fill out a contract. They don't teach you the steps to get a contract accepted. They don't teach you about negotiating. They don't teach you about pretty much anything that is important and worth knowing.
Yeah.
Stuff I do day to day is not on the course. Like, and guess what? I somehow have done pretty well in real estate because I've learned the stuff that you have to learn, and that's what I want to teach. So I'm trying to teach Ellie not to do the same, not basically the learning curve I had, just kind of wipe that by a few years so you can excel or speed up the process. You're already a month ahead of me, so I guess that's a win for both of us. But to me, the New York State test, we had a girl in here today kind of shadowing with me. She said the same thing. She goes, I'm taking all these notes and I'm really trying to learn, all this stuff. And I told her, I said, learn it, pass the test. But I said, you're going to learn more literally by sitting down next to me, going on appointments with me, having me explain what I'm doing, my thought process, my psychology behind what I'm doing and saying and everything, more so than taking an online test. Even if you were in the class test, I think a class teacher would be better because they could expand on stuff and say, well, this you could do this and this. When you're taking a 75-hour online course, very limited, not going to teach you to be successful. The successful people are the ones that know how to connect with people, know how to help people, and filling out a contract and stuff like that. That's easy to learn.
Yeah.
But it's trying to talk people through contracts and negotiating and strategy. And I really think as a real estate agent or realtor, I would say I have a pretty damn close master's degree in psychology.
Yeah.
I mean, 9 years of talking to people. I mean, I've talked to people, spouses has major health concerns, maybe is, in the process of, probably not making it, or people going through divorces, or people losing, a loved one and have to sell or lost a job, or, I mean, like, then you have the happy ones. Hey, we're expanding our family. We're having an extra kid. We need a bigger house. Those are great. Those are happy. But you get the sad ones, and it's just stuff you gotta, be able to navigate all that stuff, and you gotta stay kind of level headed and not too emotionally inclined. When offers don't get accepted, I feel for the people 100%, but I can't be emotionally tied up into I gotta be the one that's going off of, more, I say like logic, but I gotta stay a little more distant from the emotional aspect of it, because they need me to help them secure the next one. So it is what it is. Didn't work out. What can we do now? What's our reaction going to be, and how can we move forward? That's the kind of stuff that's important. Then at the same time, we just had someone just called me up and said, hey, we got to get a deal done. This is what's going to happen. You're going to make less money on the deal, but you're going to get the deal done. There's no way in hell I'm saying no. I'm not gonna, we're not gonna work on our end, because I want these people to get home.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be honest, like, you do the right thing, money's gonna come. I'm not motivated by money in the least. I really could care less about that. It really comes down to how am I affecting the people. So guess what? When I get done this podcast, I get to call these people up and say, guess what? You got a house, which is cool. And that's exciting. And I think a lot of that is. That's the stuff you don't learn in the course, but that's the stuff that is very rewarding. I think we had a good conversation with the young man that was here before we started the podcast about that. I think that's right. The New York State course, I'm very saddened by what they teach, because I think it could be a lot better, beneficial, I think, for people. But at the same token, I think I'm super excited because Ellie is now, I actually picked up, I don't know why we got a paper contract. We don't usually use paper contracts, but the agent, old school, love him, but
he's very nice.
Old school,
yeah.
But a contract that had Elizabeth Gent on it.
Aww.
Very formal. But I was excited. I had to pick that up for Ellie today, but I was excited to see that. So I will let her see the first official. Maybe we'll make a photocopy of it and let you keep it. So
keep it forever.
Frame it. But no, that's exciting. So, I guess what was kind of your other experience? You're starting to learn the contract aspects. You can
Yeah.
learn how it can be kind of stressful because
Yeah.
you're in a multiple offer.
And I mean, I will say, I think if I had gotten into real estate alone, I would have given up by now, because I would just been absolutely overwhelmed by the amount of
Yeah.
stuff I don't know. And I also, I mean, went into this, this closing process with certain blank spots, not knowing, but a lot of it was already filled in just because I've been shadowing you for so long. Even before I had my license, I was shadowing you, and that is just incredibly helpful. And I think if anyone is looking to get into real estate, the absolute number one most important thing is finding someone who's going to back you up, because this is not something that I would be able to do alone at all.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And I don't, and it's something that I mean, obviously I've been in it for a while, so but it's not, there's a lot of times where I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to make it.
Yep.
It's stressful. It's like, there's times you're trying to, commission based, and it's like, hey, money's kind of tight. Hey, I don't know. Like, we got to kind of figure out stuff here because we don't have a lot of money to do stuff.
Yeah.
That's that's like a very common thing in when you're getting started in real estate. Like I think it's one where you got to just kind of keep the belief that you're going to succeed. And I'm kind of big on that. We've kind of talked about, just really grinding it out and just having that self-belief that you're going to succeed and that you're going to be able to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And I think as you start getting certain things, you start accomplishing certain things, that just gets bigger and bigger, but it's always something you're working towards.
Yeah.
And for you, like I said, when I was talking before we got on the air, when I started, I wanted I was looking how to get one deal, which is you right now, like getting one deal.
Yeah.
And then that evolves into me now complaining that I need to get one assistant. Like, I mean, it's like different levels, but it's gotten to the point. Yeah, you build up, and I think that's the fun part about it.
Yeah. And
but I like, I guess, when you like go back to basics, it's kind of nice seeing this is like Ellie is truly the first person I've ever really put time into as an agent. Because I mean, I've never really been in a position to like hire someone or bring someone on or try to get someone up to that level. Now we have a few people that will be coming on, but like Ellie is by far my first mentee grasshopper. Yeah. But it's kind of cool. So like I find that like your success, I was more excited. I mean, I didn't tell Ellie this, but the day that she got one of her offers accepted, I had 2 accepted, but I didn't tell her that because it's like, but it's one of those things. I was more excited for you getting your first than, I mean, like which stuff like that is just exciting for me because I knew how much you were excited. And I was more nervous texting you like that morning. I'm like, let me know how it goes.
Yeah.
I was like dealing with my own stuff, but I was more excited. I'm like, Ellie, come on now. I want to make sure this gets together. Like, I don't know why I was way more excited on hearing that your offer got accepted than mine. But I think that's good. So I think that you're going to build off of that. And it gives honestly, you momentum a little bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
A little jump in your step, kind of like that you can do it.
And I think that's the awesome thing for my buyers too, and going forward is just knowing that even if there are gaps because I'm new, that they're still going to get the absolute best possible service because through me they have your help too. So like wherever I can't help, they still have. Yeah,
I'm making Ellie do like 70% of 70-80%. I'm like the back end. I'm like the Wizard of Oz, whispering over her shoulder just to make sure that
fairy godmother.
Yeah, fairy godmother. Make sure everything is kind of in line. Just like Ellie, actually move that there and dot that.
Get on my shoulder.
Cross that T and dot that I. But everything else, for the most part, I attribute 95% of that deal towards you. I think I just helped you fill out a couple things on the contract.
You helped me mostly from panicking. That's the biggest thing.
Maybe that's it. Maybe talking you off the wall. But overall, I thought you did very well.
Thank you.
I was excited when you said that you were kind of just getting into that point of, hey, I think they're gonna make an offer, and what do I do? And
I'm so excited.
So, but it's cool. So now our goal is just make sure that it gets closed, and I think another good goal of yours is before this one is closed to try to put another one under contract prior. So that gives you about 8 weeks.
I think
you can.
I think I can. I think I can. I've been I've seen it coming through.
Yeah, and I think you've been consistent. I've kind of checked top producer, and you've been doing well on that. There's some, I've kind of, I can see what you're doing, and like it looks pretty good.
Not as consistent as I'd like to be, but
no. But I think at the end of the day, you stay doing it daily.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things. I mean, I know I call it the snowball effect, but like it's just doing those small, consistent actions every single day.
Yep.
And you might think that it doesn't mean anything. And I've thought that before. Like I say, but like there's times where I'm like, I'm not going to call that person. Even today, I'm like,
Yeah.
why am I going to call that person? They're looking at this, that like, it's just not, the odds that maybe happens or whatever is not probably going to be great. And, you know, in the back of my head, I get guilty. I'm like, well, what happens if you call them and they're looking for this, and all of a sudden they turn around and it was a mistake and they're actually looking for something else, or they buy this and then down the road you get it set. Like, there's so many things that happen. So I will pick up the phone and I will make the call. And I do that a lot more than, like, I mean, not even just like once in a while. I mean, that happens all the time. Where probably weekly I get one of those where I'm like, what, they're looking at this house? But I'm like, okay, I'll just, you know what I mean? You don't want it, but then it's like, no, I'm going to call them. I'm going to do the small steps. You never know what's going to lead to. And even going over some calls today with the agent that was shadowing, or future agent that was shadowing, I was telling her, I'm like, this person just said they're not doing anything for 4 years. I said, can I call you next year? She's like, yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to buy anything. I'm not going to sell anything.
Yeah.
But guess what? I'll call her next year. And I'll call her next year. There's one guy I contacted today, talked to him. Last time I talked to him was 2016.
Wow.
I've been leaving message once or twice a year for 2-3 years, picked up the phone, and he started laughing. He goes, hey, he goes, yeah, how you doing? He goes, well, he goes, I can, basically his whole conversation was, no, we're still planning on doing it. We're getting closer to moving up there from out of state. And he goes, and then he kind of ended the call. He's like, I really like how, like, your tenacity or something like that. Like, here's a guy, I mean, I could have, he told me he was years away. I could have just been like, screw it. I'm not going to worry about it. It's
an investment. And,
I've done that all the time. And that's why I have a pipeline that I do. It's like people that are buying homes now or selling homes. Like, I've talked to these people for years. I mean, and that's something that you'll find, like, all of a sudden it's 2019. It'll be 2022 and you'll look at something like, oh my God, I've been talking to them since 2019 and now they're looking at homes.
Yeah.
You got to be consistent. And I think in real estate, a lot of agents, if it's not now, they just throw it to the side. Like, it's like a scrap. Like, I'm like, I had a lady today. She's like, I don't think we don't have any money saved up and our credit score is X. Okay, cool. We're going to do this. I'm going to call you in 6 months. Like, she will buy at some point. And I don't look at her buying as I'm going to get a sale. I'm looking at it as this lady wants to buy a home.
And you're going to help her.
And I know I can help her get into a home. It won't be in 6 months. It might be in 2 years, but I will help her get into a home. But I'm not going to give up on her because I had another lady today, husband's not in good shape, has unfortunately a bad medical condition. And, you know, kind of one of those deals where I know at some point, and she knows it too, she's going to have to downsize. Unfortunately, like a bad reasoning, you know, or unfortunate reasoning. But I'm not looking at it as I'm going to call this poor lady up. No, I look at it as, hey, say 2 years from now she needs to downsize. I've now been able to establish a 2-year relationship with this lady. Yeah. Where when that time comes, that's one less thing she's got to stress about.
Yeah, it's
she can say, I already know who's going to take care of the house. I already know. I'm going to call him up. He knows the situation. He knows what I need to do. And I will be able to step in and provide a service at that point that I know that, to me, I'm taking basically, I think, a big burden off of her shoulders.
Absolutely.
By being able to establish a relationship. And I say 2 years. I mean, I've been already talking to her for 1.5 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's going to have a solid, 3-4 year relationship with me that knows the situation, that knows everything, that I can be able to step in and help her when the time comes. And that's what I always look at is if you're coming from a position of, if you have the belief in yourself and you know you can help somebody, then I just think that anytime I call somebody, depending, you know, obviously on their situation, I really come from, how can I help? I know I'm very good at what I do. Mm-hmm. I know I can help people. I know they have a service that they need done. Like they need to sell the house, need to buy a home, whatever.
Yeah.
I know I'm very good at that. So I'm basically coming from a position of like, I know I can help you.
Yeah.
And that's my belief on most of the conversations I have with people is like, I just know that I can really help you out. Now, if you don't want to use me, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. I'll move on. It's not going to devastate me. But at the same token, I think by being consistent and coming from a place of helping, and you are just slowly starting to do that by bringing people on, and even if you don't know a ton, just say, hey, listen, I don't know. Let me ask.
But I have the best in the business.
Well, you can. I mean, that's what I used to rely on my dad all the time when I was on. I was like, I don't know. I never told anybody, even to this day, if I don't know something, I will say, I don't know.
Yeah, I will find out.
Yeah, I will find out. I will ask who I need to ask. I make sure I'll get you the right information.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to make it, I'm not going to appear that or try to make it seem like I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm going to be straight up honest. I don't know. Let me figure it out. Even,
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff today that I'm like, probably should know that. I don't know it, though. Let me check on it. So, Ellie, is there anything else that you want to touch upon today?
Yeah, I just want to say for people who are listening who think that Galen's full of a bunch of hoopla, that I know for a fact that he has given up on commissions and stuff in order to help out buyers or sellers, and that it really is important for him about helping people, and that is part of the reason that I like working at Kavanaugh.
Thank you, Ellie. That was nice. That was a good plug. But yeah, no, I think if you care about other people and do what's right for other people, you'll
you give what you get.
Yeah, it comes back. Karma's a real thing. So I think we're gonna stop there. Congratulations, Ellie. This is a really big step for you. I'm actually I'm probably more excited than I exude over this microphone, but I'm very proud of her. So I guess for
Ellie
and myself, that is episode 13 of the
14.
13.
Oh.
I was almost going to say Galen Trombley Show. Episode 13 of Realty Talk. We're out.